Hello and welcome back to Record-2-Report. This is the more podcast show on the PodcastMeister Channel that aims to air more consistently for your listening and viewing pleasure. Today I want to talk about USB microphones. Actually, rant about USB microphones because I don't really understand the existence of some of them. Let's talk about it. By the way, for those of you that didn't know, the Record-2-Report episodes are available as a podcast as well. You can find a link in the description or just search for the PodcastMeister podcast. Recently, we saw a lot of USB microphones announced from DD, Beacon Mic, Mackie, Behringer, Rode, and I really don't understand some of their strategies. There's two reasons for that. One, why does anyone make simple USB mics that do nothing else than connect to your computer directly? I had the opportunity to receive some of these microphones for test, and I have thankfully rejected the opportunity, always for the same reason. Very few of them came with an accompanying software that would extend the microphone's capabilities beyond just routing your voice and only your voice into a software. Elgato and Presonus went a step further and included a software that gives you an additional routing options, and you can apply DSP, which is digital signal processing, meaning you can alter the sound of your microphone. Actually, Beacon Mic does the same. You can also create a mix minus with them to record someone or generally include someone in the conversation over a communication app. That is the bare minimum it would take for me to be able to recommend it for a podcaster. I can't believe that podcasters are a smaller market than streamers. Have you tried to stream already? It's pretty damn hard to nail things first time right doing it live. Seemingly, however, these mics only target streamers. As for podcasters, they have a very limited use case, and that is solo podcasting. The pinnacle of accompanying software, in my opinion, is of course Rode Connect, which not only allows you to connect and process your microphone sound, but it has a built-in recorder. It can connect up to 4 USB mics to the same computer, which none of the others allow for. It has a built-in mix minus for a remote guest. It records in multitrack, which is essential for post-processing a podcast. And it also has sound pads with the Rodecaster Pro's built-in sounds. And while upon its release, it only worked with the Rode NT-USB mini microphone, meanwhile, it works practically with any Rode microphone that is not an XLR mic, with the exception of the Rode Podcaster and the original NT-USB. Using the AI Micro Mini Audio interface, even those video microphones with a 3.5mm plug work with it. The microphones that utilize Rode Connect the most are the NT-USB Mini, the Video Mic NTG, and the new Video Mic Go 2 and the Wireless Go 2. Note that I'm not affiliated with Rode in any way, shape or form. I never got a product from Rode to review. I just genuinely think that with the Rode Connect software, they went so much ahead of the market that it is hard for me to recommend any other USB microphone than the ones that work with Rode Connect. Oh, and if I didn't mention it, it's free, and it works on Windows and Mac, sadly not yet on mobile devices. For that, by the way, you have the Tascam podcast editor that works on Android and iOS too. Second, in the case of Behringer, I totally don't get it. They release really cool looking USB mics, but none of them have even a headphone port, let alone a software. That makes it impossible to use them with cameras, and second, it makes it impossible to use them with any communication app, as you will not be able to hear yourself. Creating or buying a simple USB microphone that only has a USB connection does not make much sense for me, unless you are pretty damn sure you're never going to use it for anything else than to record yourself. I don't understand much of what it takes to add analog outputs to a microphone, but I would certainly not buy a mic that only has a USB port. It should have either an additional 3.5mm port or an additional XLR port. By the way, all along you were listening not to a USB microphone but the SE Electronics Dynacaster with its fully neutral settings, because this is a microphone that has a built-in mic booster that can provide an extra 30 decibel of clean gain if you switch it on in exchange for adding 48 volts phantom power to it, and B, an option to boost the bass frequencies as well as the higher frequencies for additional clarity. The high shelf actually has 2 steps. Last week it was set to the low shelf, so the bass boost, and to the first high shelf engaged. I have promised you that I will demonstrate to you a different built-in EQ. Here you go, this is the neutral settings. Next time it will only be the low shelf, so the darkest settings. We'll see how close it comes to the SM7B in the more detailed review. Check the previous Record-to-Report episode to compare how the neutral setting sounds versus with the smiley-shaped frequency response, so with the bass boost and the first presence boost engaged. Getting back to USB microphones, all in all, for podcasters on the go or for beginner podcasters, I nowadays tend to narrow down my recommendation to the Rode VideoMic Go 2 as their first microphone, actually for 5 reasons. First, it is a great sounding camera microphone that doubles as a USB mic, in which case the 3.5mm output becomes your headphone port. Now you can even use it for video calls. Second, it is a cardioid shotgun mic that does pretty well with rejecting background noises, especially useful when you have a guest with you that you are interviewing, in which case the wireless Go 2 or the anti-USB Mini will have a hard time with one person's voice bleeding into the other person's recording channel. Not so much with the VideoMic Go 2. Third, it works with Rode Connect. Enough said. But if you are a streamer, the flexible audio routing with Rode Connect will be a godsend. One virtual channel for your chat, one system channel for the game audio, and your mic, all independently adjustable. Fourth, it's really compact in size and weight. You will have no trouble carrying it around anywhere. Sadly, to be able to use Rode Connect, you'll have to carry also your laptop though. Fifth, you get all this for less than €100 or $100. It cannot be beaten if you want to set up a podcast rig that can accommodate a remote guest too, or a streaming audio setup. Let me know if you agree or widely disagree with my rant on USB mics in the comments below. See you next week. Bye for now.